Spider-Man fans have been eager to see a video game worthy of one of comics' most spectacular heroes for years. Batman had the Arkham series, and now Peter Parker's got Marvel's Spider-Man, releasing this week on PlayStation 4. Spider-Man presents a new take on a comic book icon. It isn't based on any specific comic or movie, instead it exists in its own Spider-Verse, offering new takes on familiar characters and moments from Spidey's long history. This leaves the game free to do its own thing. For example, it skips the origin story altogether, focusing on a Spider-Man who's well established, but still struggles to find balance in his life. Set 8 years after the spider bite that started it all, the game sees Peter Parker now working as a scientist, scraping by in his life in and out of the spider suit. Things get worse for him when Mr. Negative, a comics villain first introduced in 2008, shows up, throwing Peter's masked and unmasked worlds into chaos. Similar to the Batman Arkham franchise, Spider-Man's open-world environment lets players swing, fight, and explore Spidey's role in the city at their own pace. It nails the feeling of being an experienced Spider-Man unleashed on the playground of New York. You can spend hours web-slinging around Manhattan, stopping car chases, and snapping shots of landmarks from both the real and Marvel versions of the city. But Marvel Spider-Man's biggest strength is how it treats Peter Parker and Spider-Man equally as characters. Peter's civilian life doesn't disappear when he puts on the suit. The most iconic Spider-Man stories, regardless of medium, play with the character's duality, showing how Peter's private and public personas intermingle and collide. The story of Marvel's Spider-Man understands this and plays with it fantastically. You spend just as much time playing as Peter as you do the web-slinger, and things that happen to Spider-Man affect Peter and his loved ones too. There is no off switch. Everything that happens matters to Peter Parker and Spider-Man. The game doesn't just play with this theme, but also with the character's nearly 60 years of history across comics, movies and TV, especially in the form of its collectibles. You can find tons of Peter's old backpacks around the city, which include artifacts from his past, or other Marvel Easter eggs, like a copy of Aunt May's comics-accurate recipe for wheat cakes, her infamous culinary speciality. There are also tons of unlockable Spider-Man suits, drawing across everything from the recent movies to more obscure corners of the Marvel Comics universe, and they all have special abilities harkening back to their source material. For example, the suit based on Spider-Man Homecoming lets Peter use the suit's spider emblem as a drone buddy in combat, like he would in the film. Marvel's Spider-Man doesn't just deliver a great new story, it sets up a world ripe for exploration in future games. There are storylines just dying to be picked up, and there's room to see more of this take on Peter and both his friends and his foes. I could stand to see the game differentiate itself from Batman's Arkham series a bit more. This game is more of an iteration of a formula that works, rather than a true evolution. But that's a minor concern, and one I could see future games in the series addressing. Despite this, Marvel Spider-Man represents a huge leap for the character himself when it comes to games. It tells a quintessential Spider-Man story, filled with epic moments as good as any blockbuster superhero film. But it also understands that every great Spidey tale is an equally great Peter Parker one.